Are they?
No, they're, yeah, because they're just.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ascension Astrology with Kornelia Stephanie and Janet Hickox. It's wonderful that you were able to join us this afternoon. We have some interesting things that we're going to work through today. Tom, I see you out there, so maybe we can work through some things with you. Vanita, we have yours lined up, and we are also dealing with something from another participant, Vicky. So we're going to throw situations out there, and then we're going to work through those. And then I'm going to share a little bit of astrology stuff today that, working with the planet Saturn and working with the planet Neptune, one about spirituality and the other one about practicality.
Awesome. I'm so excited about that. And I'm going to share a little bit about Ascension, the energies that we're integrating right now and what's happening on the planet. There's so much happening. There's so many things. There's so many timelines playing out. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But I also wanted to say, you and I really haven't had a chance to talk this over yet. But we just talked about it a little bit. But
Yep.
What we want to do eventually, like coming soon, is we want to send prizes and offer prizes to people that engage with us, because Janet's already got her tribe with you all. Hi everybody, it's nice to see you again. And she's already got you all who've been following Janet with and also we're going to load this video on YouTube afterwards. And so what we want to do is we want to get the YouTubers engaged also, and we're going to be offering prizes so that if you engage with us, that we're going to be sending you gifts and prizes and giving things away, because we can.
The Ascension and Astrology giveaways.
That's it. So we're looking forward to rolling that out, and we just need to have time to talk about it and figure it out.
Look at Tom, already the cracker he is. Do you have to be here to win?
Do you have to be here to win? What is that?
Like be here in the show.
You do. No, you don't have to be here in the show. Even if you're on YouTube and you're watching it later, you can also win by writing in the thread underneath.
In the comments, yes.
In the comments. That's the whole point. Yeah.
The point is we're trying to build a conversation around these two subjects and how they interact. And the best way we know how to do that is to get you all to get engaged. And then if you do that, then you will have a chance to win a prize. It might be a reading from me. It might be a session with her. It might be a book. It might be
money. It might be all kinds of things. So that's why we're going to be coming up with this amazing giveaways that we're always going to be giving things away if you're going to engage with us. So it's really, we don't want to talk to puppets. We want to be able to have a collaborative effort. And so appreciation is given for your time and energy that you're bringing here. And then, of course, in valuing what it is that we have to share together.
collaborative. That is such a Libra word.
Yeah.
It's a perfect Libra word.
Awesome.
For my Libra friend here.
Yay.
Yay. The big C's: collaboration, cooperation, and co-creation. So this week's prize, drum roll, a wall. No, no walls. No walls, Tom. No walls. We're bringing down walls. We really have not had time yet to talk about that. We're just sort of bringing it up because that's kind of in the works. And next week, hopefully, we have more information to be able to share with you on that. And my hope is that someday we are able to give away big prizes, like, I don't know, trips to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Totally. Like,
Right?
or trips to my upcoming retreat in Thailand, for instance.
Right. And that's in April.
That's in April. So that would be a fun to give a trip to a retreat. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be fun to give out $1,000? And wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
A
Oh my
trip
God,
to
that
a
would be
retreat.
awesome.
Or, I'm facilitating a retreat in Costa Rica and Kauai. So it would be fun to give one of those away.
Mm-hmm. This year, right?
Yeah.
So we have big plans and we want to get you all engaged. So hello to you, Vicky. Hello. We said hello to Tom. Vanita says, yay.
Yay, Vanita.
I think people like that. I think people like the idea of getting something. Prizes.
Because isn't that wonderful? Like, what's going to happen is in the engagement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be like, wow, it's restoring faith. And it's like a gift that is given, and it's just supportive, and it's supporting you. And then you're going to be able to share the joy and tell other people, wow, can you believe what just happened to me? Can you believe what just happened? I just won this for, contributing and sharing about what's going on with me. This is what happened.
Yes, exactly. So some of the other things that we were thinking about doing, having, theme-based shows where the theme might be, well, we haven't really talked about, this is really going on in my own head.
Okay.
Where the theme might be, we're going to talk about Saturn. So maybe we even dress up like Saturn.
Oh, that would be fun.
Wouldn't that be fun to get in costume and to, really make this a fun experience while we are going through the work that is necessary as well to move through ascension and our evolution of consciousness. So we hope that you guys will hang with us and have fun with us. Now, today is going to be a little more of the work of ascension and what some of that entails. Kornelia is really good at offering up the strategies for being able to move through emotional hurts, through what do you call them, core wounds, guilt and shame, and I don't remember, anger, I don't remember all of those.
The core wounds.
The core wounds,
Yeah.
right? There's like 6 of them.
There's like 6 or 7 of them. Resentment, abandonment,
Yes.
betrayal, shame, unworthiness, not feeling good enough is a big one. And then the separation, feeling separate from your creator, feeling separate from source, because the truth is that we've never been separate. It's only that's been the illusion, that once we really accept that we've always been connected to our source, our infinite creator, our father, whatever your power of belief is. So separation is one. And then victim consciousness, being a victim is also another core wound. So I think that pretty much sums it up.
So really there's only about 6 or 7 core wounds, but we can experience those core wounds in many different ways. And most of us have, some sampling of those wounds throughout our life, where we've been maybe betrayed, or maybe we've had an issue with abandonment, and how all of that plays in your life is told through the things that you're telling yourself every day that you can't do, or why things aren't working out for you. And that is one of the things that we really want to be able to work through today, and giving you all tools to be able to move through that, even if it's, something that you can do on your own, or, through gaining the access to programs or somebody's healing techniques. So to that end, as we talked about those wounds and them, there being just in the grand scheme of things, there's really only a few.
Yeah.
Everything that we think about in terms of what isn't going right in our lives can really be distilled down to a core wound.
Yeah.
And then if we can get to that core wound, then all of the other things begin to fall in alignment in healing.
Exactly.
So
you want to get to the core of it. You want to be able to get to the core of it. So if at the core of your energy field, in your tree, in your body, if there is any place, emotional, mental, spiritual, that you still feel betrayed, that there's still a betrayal energy playing out, then it's really time to release that now fully and completely let that go. And the reason why is the opposite of betrayal is trust. The opposite of betrayal is trust, right?
Yes.
And so do you absolutely 100% trust life? Do you trust yourself? Do you trust our creator? Do you emit the frequency of trust? Or are you still kind of walking around kind of like feeling like, I don't know if I can fully trust right now, because I still have this preoccupation of betrayal happening within my subconscious that's not fully, right?
Right. And if you still have that in your unconsciousness, then it's coming up and it's dogging you in a way, right? It's always there. So you have to get to the deep core wound in order to be healed, and then to be able to see those changes occurring in your outer world. Because essentially, everything in your outer world is really just a picturing of what's going on in here, inside of you. So if you have a belief that the world is always, going to knock you down, then your outer world is always going to show you that. If you believe that you can, I'm just making things up now, but let's just say you believe that every time you go out and get for a job interview that you don't get that job because you're too old, or whatever the reasoning is, then that's something you have to address from deep within. It's not that it's just out there and you're being, dumped on by the universe. It's that there's a core belief somewhere in you that is holding you back from that opportunity, or from making more money, or getting that love relationship in your life. So that is what we're going to attempt to do today. Now, a couple of you brave souls sent me emails about what it is that you are dealing with. So I'm going to attempt to read these without names. Does that sound good? I mean, I don't know how bashful any of you are, or that, you might not want your name attached to it. So I'm going to read it without names unless I see something in the comment stream to the contrary. And because I think within each of these that I got, there's the core. There's a thread that runs for a lot of different people. And I think that everybody will recognize a part of that in themselves. So without further ado, I'm going to read the first one that I received. And I'm going to paraphrase in some respects because it's, sometimes too much. So, and this person says, I've decided that poverty consciousness is my biggest roadblock. And that there's also an issue possibly with hoarding or with holding on to things too long, is how I read that. This person needs to manifest a large amount of money for the help she needs. And she's having big issues throughout her life. And she feels like having money would be able to help her address those issues. And she also has some relationship issues. I think maybe we'll use that as a separate issue. So the first thing that we want to work through then, Kornelia, is about poverty consciousness. And how would you even begin to help this person work through this?
So the poverty consciousness, if you can, first of all, accept where you are. Really, really accept that you are here to transcend that energy through your own experience, and that the reason why it's happening is so that you can fully release the poverty consciousness, release that energy, release this from your experience and let it go, so that you can really claim your wealthy roots, your prosperity consciousness in the new paradigm. So first of all, it has to do, with fully accepting that and understanding that if you're experiencing the lack consciousness in your mental construct, if that's what you're experiencing, then this is what you've been focusing on. So you've been focusing on the lack. And so in your reality, if you're focusing on lack and, poverty, then that's what you're going to create as an empowered creator. You're going to continue on creating that. But let's really take a look at your lineage. So here you are the person, and you are here now to clear the poverty consciousness for yourself and in your family. Take a look at your mother, take a look at your father, and look at how far back this poverty consciousness goes. So, really be honest of how far back this goes, and were you brought up in an environment of prosperity consciousness? And did you grow up poor? How did you grow up? Did you guys have money? Did you have money? Were you taught on how to save money, on how to manage money? Were you taught that money is a good thing? Were you taught to have a good relationship with money? So all these things are all part of the lack consciousness, the poverty consciousness. So the thing is that if you're still experiencing that, this is the perfect time right now to press the reset button here today and make the statement, I release and let go the poverty consciousness here and now for myself and for my lineage, for my family. I'm the one that's doing this. I'm the one that's changing this game, and I'm the one that is releasing this from my physical body. I'm letting it go. I'm the one that is now grounding in the truth. and the integrity of being an empowered creator. And the experience that I choose is I want to move into the alignment with being wealthy, with moving into abundance, with moving into prosperity, that I am choosing this. And really, in the new paradigm, as a spiritually enlightened being, it does not fit for you to be broke and for you to not have money. It is not in integrity for you to be spiritually broke, to be financially broke. It's not in your integrity to be in poverty, because you have the consciousness, you have the awareness now to do that inner work and really, first of all, shift the way that you see prosperity, the way that you see your reality, and really start shifting and changing the way that you think about lack and the way that you think about money, and shift and change your relationship with money. So that's one thing. And I want to give a mantra to you to use. And this mantra is something that I've used myself and give it to other clients. And basically it goes something like this. I cast this burden of lack. I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to have plenty. This is a beautiful, beautiful mantra to use.
I'm going to type that, by the way.
I cast this burden of Christ.
Wait.
I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to have plenty. So this is a perfect mantra for you to release this consciousness from your being. That's a perfect mantra to use. And also by you choosing and making the choice that you don't want to be in this experience anymore, that now in the old world, you were in poverty and you've had this consciousness, and now you're coming into the new world. And in the new world, you really fully want to choose to be wealthy, and that you want to stand in your abundance, that you want to vibrate in abundance, that you want to perceive abundance, and that you're willing to shift your consciousness and experience the abundance. And I bet you right now in your life, if you were to start looking for what's abundant in your life, maybe it's not money. But if you were to look at one thing that's abundant, maybe it's the abundant flowers that are in your yard, or the abundant seeds that are all around you, or abundance of friends that you have, or wherever. But start somewhere with perceiving abundance, seeing the beautiful flowers or the trees or nature. You know, that's one way to really shift the vibration and move into a state of gratitude in the abundance of where that is.
Gratitude, that's a big one.
Right? So, you know, that's one thing. And the other thing I want to say is that if you have not shifted or changed your relationship yet with money and your beliefs around it, then I'm going to give you a gift right now. And that is, I wrote an ebook, and it's how to shift your relationship with money. And I'm going to give you access to this ebook for free so that you can, first of all, change your relationship with money, but also change your limiting beliefs. And you're going to be able to do this yourself, because I walk you through it in the ebook, and you're going to be able to do that and really shift your belief system. And you're going to see how easy it is, so that you have a really good relationship with money, so that you can say, I love and adore money, and money loves and adores me, because it's an energy, and that there is abundance overflowing, an abundance of money overflowing in your life, and that you have everything you need when you need it.
So I have a question. Can I ask questions?
Yeah.
On behalf of our listeners?
Yeah.
So what if someone doesn't necessarily come from a background of poverty, right? Maybe mom and dad did have good jobs and there was plenty of money, that, you know, something else happened that created a poverty consciousness. How would you access that? And how would you work with that? Because maybe it's about self-worth or low self-esteem.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly could be a low self-worth and not feeling good enough. again, because if you're not feeling good enough, not good enough is directly related to the core wound of unworthiness.
Mm-hmm.
It's directly related to that. So if you experienced a huge loss in your life, all of a sudden where, things were taken from you, then where you lost everything, then it's really an opportunity again to gift you with an opportunity to let go and process loss. I want to again remind everybody that's listening to this, you guys are all welcome to get the copy of my ebook. I'm going to give it to anybody that wants it, but you do have to do one thing, and that's to sign up for my newsletter. So, and the way to sign up for that is you can text the word Kornelia to the number 22828, and you can get the ebook. And you can, so please do that, or go to my website at korneliastephanie.com and sign up for the newsletter there. And I will be happy to give you an email where I'll mail it to you. And the email is radio@korneliastephanie.com. radio@korneliastephanie.com. You'll be able to get the ebook and really start shifting and changing your relationship with money. That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have it?
Not yet. I'm going to let this sit here for a second.
Okay. So that's really, remember that, when we're like hoarding or trying to hold on to things, it's always because we're afraid. Here's, I've worked with clients who have a lot of money. They have a lot of money, and guess what?
They're not any happier than the people who are poor.
That's true. And the other thing is they're always afraid they're going to run out.
Oh.
They're always afraid they're going to run out. So even people that have a lot of money are always afraid, not all of them, but some of them are afraid that they're going to run out of money, that it's never going to be enough. So they're operating from that consciousness of running out, not enough. It's not enough money. It's not enough time. It's not enough, whatever, not enough opportunities, not enough. So they're operating from that place instead of coming from the place of I am worthy. I am worthy. I am enough. I have a high self-worth. I trust in the abundance of the universe. I trust in the abundance of myself. I'm emitting that type of frequency because it's the energy that I'm putting out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that helpful?
I think it's helpful. I wonder if we're talking about poverty consciousness, lack, and that type of thing, what might the core wound be around that? Or is lack itself a core wound?
I didn't find lack to be a core wound.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find it to be an emotional core wound.
So it could be like a combination of the different core wounds, or related to one of them?
I just find that lack consciousness, poverty consciousness was based on survival. Mm-hmm. It's really based on survival. And, and survival is a core wound.
Survival is a core wound. Okay.
Survival is a core wound. It's like, we were like really, how many of us have been just trying to survive, go from paycheck to paycheck, just trying to survive. It's survival is a core wound. And so we want to go and leave the survival piece behind and move into thriving. Because again, what's on the opposite end of survival? You always have to look at, what am I feeling? What am I releasing? What am I letting go of? And what is it that I want? That's through every experience, any emotional trigger that you have by right now, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, or whatever the emotional trigger is. Use that energy, use that experience to release that old suppressed energy out of your physical body and release it. And I'm letting this go. I'm letting this consciousness go. I'm letting this core wound go. I'm letting this go. Mm-hmm. And right away, then go, what is it that I want? I want to focus on the abundance. I want to, experience abundance. Learn how to do the emotional processing, which is a huge piece, which is also another free gift that's available on my website, the emotional processing technique. That's free. It's on my website. You can get it there's a box on the bottom where it says, are you new to Kornelia's work, emotional processing? Because it's going to take you through it. It's going to ask you the questions. What is this about for me? What am I releasing? What am I letting go of? Because I remember a time when I was feeling so ashamed of really always looking outside of myself for approval, and, where I felt powerless to a lot of times to do anything with the situations that occurred in my life, but through the emotional processing work and through this inner work, that's where the healing begins. And really, this is your line of work. And if you're here and if you're doing this is part of the work. It's part of the work.
It is part of the work. So, Vanita, I see a comment, a word that you typed in there, and I just want to know a little more about what that was in relation to. You wrote the word burden and a question mark. So, can you kind of give us a little more insight as to what is that, a question, or what is that? So, I just want to say that so far you've offered 2 free things, gifts already, without us even working, right? I mean, this is too fun. So, after we're done today, so let's just remind people you can get the free ebook on money, right?
Yeah.
The money
Yeah.
and abundance
Totally.
ebook.
Totally.
And by texting the word Kornelia to 22828, which I had just put that up there.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
you can go to radio@korneliastephanie.com. That is her email address. And tell her that you would like that ebook, and she can send that to you.
Yeah.
The other is an emotional processing technique that's free on your website.
Yeah.
And that is korneliastephanie.com. So the words are already up here.
Yeah.
I love it. Free little gifts. So, a wound being burden, or burden being the wound. I want to say something about this because, I even have gotten this mixed up in myself before, where you think you've processed through something and it's done. I'm never going to have that again. And then imagine the pulling you up short when you start experiencing, or you get challenged by, let's say, lack, or, a large bill comes in, or some form of income is taken away, and the panic that can set in, and the sort of backsliding into that lack consciousness once more. So I just want to say that this is something that people need to work at. This isn't like do this now and it's done.
No.
Right?
It's not instant. It's not instant. And it's not instant because your physical body holds the dense energies of your past experiences. And through the experience of the challenges that you're facing, it's offering you the opportunity to release the density out of your physical body. So every experience that you're releasing and letting go of is allowing your body to move into a higher vibrational way of living and being. It's not instant, but it's the work, and it's really good work. It's really good work. Know that everything that is lack is all part of the old world. And that's really great. So every time when you're in that experience, I'm releasing and letting this go. I'm releasing and letting this go. And then you may need to get on the phone and make a phone call and talk to this person and say, I'm going to be late with my payment, or I'm going to do this. But to continuously be able to stay true, Saturn, and do that disciplinary work that it takes in order to perceive the truth. And the truth is that we live in an abundant universe, and your physical body is the tree of life and holds the tree of life. You're only letting go of all of the old consciousness that had never before been felt. So you're letting old feelings die away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is huge, what she says, what Vanita says here. And I don't know if this is her speaking to her own experience or what, but I felt it in my core as soon as she said it, is that the original wound is that you are a burden to your parents, perhaps, like maybe while you were a fetus, your mother's experiencing this pregnancy as a burden, or, that you're the fourth of 4 kids. And
oh my gosh. And if that's the truth, if that's what you're feeling, I just want to say that I remember a time where I saw myself in my mother's womb and I wasn't wanted. My mother was feeling the feelings of not wanting me. And I felt that in being in her womb. And so with this burden of where you're feeling like you were a burden to your parents, here is a way to overcome this. And that is now for you to give birth to yourself, and be your own inner parent and choose yourself as not a burden. We know that our parents contracted with us to give birth to us. We chose them. They chose us. We chose each other. And so this is all part of the grand experience, right? And so
Yes to all the family, yes not wanted.
yes,
Yeah.
not wanted. So you creating a ceremony for yourself, Benita, where you can give birth to yourself and choose yourself that I want you. Journal this out. Sit down with your inner child and say, little Benita, I'm giving birth to you. I want you. I want you. You matter to me. You exist, and I'm going to love you. I'm going to make sure that you have your emotional needs met. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to teach you about money and that you're going to be great with money, that you're going to love money. And I'm going to show you, you're going to be your inner parent. You're giving birth to yourself. That's a way to tell a new story.
Yeah, exactly. And Helen says something really interesting too. And ask yourself if these are your own beliefs or ones that have been put on you through the years, because that happens all the time too. Right, the cultural, the lineage, we talk about them as ancestors, right, and all of that coming into you, that isn't even your own, right? It isn't your own, and it's interesting work to do. And I had an experience like this with around poverty when I realized that my mother was sitting on a bus bench. You said that, you told that story before about my mom sitting on a bus bench to get money from her daughter while she's pregnant with me. She's like 8 months pregnant with me, and I must have felt her fear. Right, she didn't have anything to eat, and she didn't have the money to pay her rent, and she was having to borrow from her daughter in order for survival. And how that impacted me as a fetus, right? Those last couple of months, those last 3 months, right? The soul's already embodied and experiencing everything that your mother is moving through.
Yeah. And so that's why it's so important now, as you, Vanita, are giving birth to yourself now, that as you're giving birth, that you feel really good about your physical body, that you feel really good, and that the feelings that you're feeling with giving birth to your own inner child now, that she is set up for success, love, and nurturing, that you're nurturing her so much that you want her, that that you have a ceremony, do some sort of ceremony where you can give birth to her and you can, love her and nurture her, and make a promise to her that you're there for her and that you will not abandon her, that you will not betray her, that you're there with her, and that you're going to love her and you're going to nurture her. And by you doing that, you're changing it. You're doing it for the entire lineage in your family, because many of us that are this conscious, we're clearing this and healing this in our family. But I want to say something to you about your father is, your father, you also didn't have it also from your father, because your father, he sold his truck. He took your money from your mother and he sold
Her house
and her car. And then he bought himself a truck, and she didn't know how to pay for her bills. So, these are the kind of stories that we've all had to endure and overcome. And now, as leading edge entrepreneurs, choosing our role in the new paradigm, choosing is the key word, to be all in, to really perceive and live abundance. And now, as you're giving birth to yourself, that you want to now build your life in wealthy roots, in a millionaire mindset, even if you choose to. This is what I choose. This is, that you get to choose how you want it to be. So releasing whatever challenging situations that you're in is offering you the great opportunity right now to release those energies out of your physical body, letting all of that energy go, and letting the new come in and replacing it with the truth.
Which is exactly the definition of ascension, right? We're letting the old fall away, the untruths, and making way for the new. Tom asks a question on your website: which drop-down menu are the gifts in? Tom, you get the free ebook by radio or by emailing her at radio@korneliastephanie.com.
Yeah.
and letting her know in the email that you want that. And then where can he find the emotional processing technique? Which,
if you go to the website, on the bottom end, there is a little box on the bottom, all the way on the bottom is a box that says, are you new to Kornelia's work? And it has the anger management processing technique. It has a fear processing technique. It has an emotional processing technique. All the things that you need for the physical body to feel good. Because if you're reacting to whatever's happening in your environment, you're giving your power over. You're giving your power away, and you don't want to do that. You want to do that inner alchemy, because your body is an acupuncture needle. It is of the Mother Earth. That's what your body is. It's an alchemical processing tool that is processing the old earth out of your physical body through the most challenging experience, poverty consciousness, toxic relationships, survival consciousness, clearing the emotional core wounds. And now you're giving birth to your new self, and your new self is going to be, I am safe, I am loved, I am worthy, I am confident, I am wealthy. This is your new trajectory. If you choose to experience it and choose to come over into the new earth all in, forget about the old earth, let it go. I'm done there. I'm pressing the reset button and I'm going all the way in. Huh?
Yep. That's exactly right. And then I just wanted to share this because I share it with my morning people, and I think some of these people are morning people. My computer is heating up here. We're hot.
We're hot.
So Tom, to answer your question, yes, on the home tab. So go down to the bottom of that page, and that's where you'll find the Are You New to Kornelia Stephanie? In your human design chart, or in your human design, there is a gate that we are evolving toward. We are evolving into this recognition that abundance is our birthright.
It is.
Right? It's our birthright, and it is always there and available to us. The thing that we have always thought was that we had to connect something to do in order to earn. And people are always surprised to find out that that gate isn't on the sacral, which is where you would think of the energy of work coming from. It sits on the emotional center, how I feel, right? And if I feel abundant, if I feel loved, if I feel, no matter what's going on in my outer world, that abundance is my birthright, then I am attracting that abundance. It is only when there's an issue that's in your outer world, then you begin to judge what that means.
Yep.
Right? Then you begin to put it and categorize it as not good or not abundant, or this doesn't make me feel good. That then you begin to really see and create more of that lack. But if you can remember that your birthright is abundance, no matter what is going on, then it keeps your thoughts on abundance and not on what you seem to think you don't have.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, start with anything. If it's not money, if you don't have a lot of money right now, trying to find the abundance in not having a lot of money is a challenging thing to do. Find the abundance in other areas. At least start there to get some good momentum going. Mm-hmm. And then when you have evidence of large money flowing in, you can work your way towards that. So that, in every challenging situation right now is a perfect opportunity, I'm going to say it again and again, to release the old earth consciousness, the old experiences of the wound itself, and release that energy and fully experience your divine birthright, because that's what we're doing on this ascension timeline right now. We are grounding in our new blueprints. And our new blueprints, you get to choose, do you want it to be wealthy or do you want it to be poverty? And if you want it to be wealthy, then the universe, make that choice. I'm choosing the wealth. I'm choosing the abundance. I'm choosing the prosperity. And everything in your trajectory is going to start lining up to meet you there. But you have to have patience.
Yeah.
You have to have patience. It's not going to happen instantly. We're not there yet, because we will eventually, I feel, get there to where our physical realities we're going to manifest faster and faster and faster. But your emotional, your mental, your physical, and your spiritual bodies all have to be in congruency with each other. And if you still have a thought that's attached to an emotion, that's attached to an emotional core wound and a belief that I'm not worthy, that I'm not good enough, then you're going to be attracting that.
Right. And that's where your emotional processing technique comes in, right? 'Cause
Exactly.
it helps you get to that core thing. Thank you. Everybody's making really great comments on what we're talking about or what the subject matter is. And I think a lot of people can actually, kind of feel like this is a situation that they've been in, right? Poverty consciousness or lack or scarcity, survival, they kind of all go hand in hand. And another kind of universal feeling that people have is about relationships or a problem that they have. Unfortunately, I closed out my Gmail, which I don't know what the heck I was thinking about, but I did that. So I'm going to reopen it just so I can get to another question somebody had about relationship, because that's another thing that triggers our wounds, number one, but can also be a part of what we are finding as a lack in our lives, right?
Yeah.
So again, this is blank. I'm not going to tell you who this was or anything like that, but I think it is something that happens for everybody. I have received, let me see. I so wonder if it's possible for someone to love me, a man or a woman. I try to let go of that longing, but seem to be unable to. Mostly money would help in those areas. And that this person also states there's no passion. He, I don't remember who this is, doesn't feel passion. And I want you to be able to speak to relationships, because I think a lot of people find that as a lack in their lives.
Yeah.
Not having a man, not having a woman, someone to love, a partner. What can you say about that?
The first thing I'm going to say about that is, how do you feel about yourself? Really is if you can, honestly say that you are absolutely joyous to be around, that you're fun to be around, that you are your own perfect match, and that someone would love to be around you. If you can feel that and vibrate that and be in that energy, become your own best partner first. Become your own best partner. Become your own best partner. And when you are your own best partner, you're a magnet of attraction to where you couldn't keep them away. You couldn't keep them away, because people are going to be like, my God, she's just so juicy, or he's so amazing. He's so confident. He's so loving. It's like, become your own partner first. Cultivate that inner relationship with yourself first. And in my ebook, the one that I'm talking about with the money, you can do the process that I take you through with anything. So be sure to get it, because it's going to really help you become your own best match, your own best partner, and really clear your relationship issues, because we're always, projecting that energy out onto somebody else. And it's like, rather than putting it out like, will you come in and be with me? Will you be with you? Will you be with you? And will that be enough? And will you cultivate that relationship with yourself and become your own best partner and become so joyous, so juicy, so happy that, you will then attract the right relationships in your life.
You become a magnet too.
You become a magnet.
Yeah.
You become a magnet. And, it's like, do you really enjoy being around yourself? I think I was reading in the same thing that this person said they have no passion. So if you have no passion, that means you're not really, to me, that feels like, are you really fun to be around? Do you really feel like you're fun to be around when you don't have anything that you're passionate about?
Do you want to be around you?
That's what I
basically
said.
what you're saying. Do
Yeah.
you want to be around you? Do you think you're fun? Do you think you're worthy? Do you think you're exciting, worth loving, etc.? And work on that.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So work on that to where it's like where it's like hands down. Like, for instance, like me, I know that I'm fun to be around, and I'm lovable, and I honor myself, and I have great relationships, and I have relationships that mirror to me how I value and how I honor myself. And that's because of the work that I've done within myself. It wasn't always like that. It wasn't always like that. So that's the work. So rather than putting the work out there and going, I want to attract somebody, really, are you ready to attract somebody? Because is that person going to match you where you are? Do you want somebody that doesn't have any passion? Do you want somebody?
Good question.
Do you want someone that doesn't have any passion? Because you're going to attract your match.
The other thing that I'm thinking here is that if you're looking outside of yourself for those things, then it's never going to be a good match for you, right? Because you're depending on somebody in your outer world or something in your outer world to fill the void here within, and you're the only one that can fill the void for yourself.
Exactly. You're always going to be your own inner authority. You're always going to, not look outside of yourself for approval, not look outside of yourself for somebody to validate that you're lovable, that you're worthy, that you're good enough. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be able to say that to yourself, your own inner child, your self-talk, the way that you talk to yourself, do you inner bully yourself? Retire the victim, retire the inner bully, retire that negative self-talk, become your own best relationship. And when you become your own best relationship, because you want to make sure that the person that you're attracting is somebody that matches you. And so really take a look at how you feel about yourself. My ebook's going to help people discover how they feel about themselves, because I asked you those questions there.
I remember a really good question that you asked. I don't know how many years ago this was. I don't even remember what it was in regards to, but how do you want to be loved?
How do you want to be loved?
Right? You asked that question of some people we were working with. And I thought that was that question in and of itself blows me away, because do you want to be loved by a passionless person?
Yeah.
Or by someone who's got, the same poverty consciousness? So you have to really get some clarity around who you are in order to attract someone of the caliber that you want. Otherwise, you'll just keep projecting your own stuff out there on them.
The other thing is write a journal, and in the journal, write what's lovable about you. As a matter of fact, what's lovable about you, tell us in the feed what's lovable about you. Everybody that listens to this message should tell us in this feed what's lovable about you. What's lovable about you, Janet?
I have a lot of good information to share to people.
You do. You do. You do.
Put me on the spot. What's lovable about you?
I have a lot of good information to share with people too. I love that I'm so dedicated and committed to shining the light and sharing the light. What's lovable about you?
I am committed to sharing love and light. That is like my whole, my fantasy is that everybody feels love and loved.
Yes. And what's lovable about me is that people know that they can rely on me and they can depend on me. They know that they can trust me. That's lovable about me. Lovable about me. The other thing that's lovable is that I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yes.
That's another thing, is I'm going to tell you the truth. And sometimes, it's not
what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear.
It's the truth. It's going to be, you're going to get the truth from me. So that's lovable about me. It's,
okay. Come on, people, start putting some messages in here.
So
some of you who have just joined, by the way, because several people have just joined, is in the beginning, we talked about the fact that we want to begin to offer up prizes and like, winning something because of your comments or because you've participated, and given feedback or whatever it is, right? At some point, it might be a free session with me. It might be a free session with Kornelia. Maybe it's a book. Maybe it's a trip. Maybe it's money.
Yeah.
We'll see, right? The whole idea is we're trying to build a following and a conversation, a community here of people that are working through all of this. So in order to do that, we want to give you something back. So your comments help. We'll roll more of that out next week when we have it. We're getting in
good
comments now.
Good. And guess what, Janet? You know what I love about you?
What
I love about you is what an awesome communicator you are, and what an awesome communicator you are, and how smart you are.
Oh, thank you. Well, do you know what I appreciate about you?
What?
Is that you are so business oriented. You are so on task and tenacious.
It's
like
Saturn.
tenacious.
You told us you were going to talk to us about Saturn
I
today.
am.
Saturn is my grandfather. And let me tell you something.
Your grandfather.
Saturn is my grandfather. And let me tell you something. He has been literally like standing with his fork next to me going, come on now.
What is it that the Grim Reaper?
Yeah,
The scythe.
he's been standing there, and Saturn has been my grandfather, and he has been around. And I know that I'm already reaping the rewards, but I'm experiencing huge rewards coming, and that we're going to bless all of you with all of these amazing.
I got to share these things that people are saying about themselves because I love it.
Do it.
Tom says he's a great researcher and an awesome healer. He's tenacious, accountable, funny, loving. I matter. I entertain. He does entertain.
That's awesome, Tom.
If you guys see me chuckling while she's talking, it's not that I'm laughing at her. I'm laughing because Tom is saying the funniest things in the background. Like he wants to dress up as Uranus, which if you say it, Uranus.
Okay. Yeah, I love Uranus. Oh my God, that is hilarious.
So you see why I might be laughing in the background. Vanita says she's funny, smart, compassionate, reliable, adventurous, honest. I see every one of those characteristics in you.
Yay.
I validate that in you, Vanita. Asa, I can make people feel special.
Oh my God.
I heal people through listening. That's so important.
Amazing.
Love it. Vicky, I have a good sense of humor. I am true, honest, and accountable. I love harmony. Asa says, love the light around you both.
Oh, yay.
Thank you. Tom, I'm an awesome napper.
Me too.
You and my husband.
Me too. I love naps.
Yeah. So I just want everybody right for this moment to feel how good it feels right now. I mean, I'm getting chillies about how to say these things to one another, or to say them out loud about you, or to say them for you even to have the courage to write those things down. And just imagine what could happen if you were telling yourself those things every day, all day, even when your mind wanted to go to, oh, dumb, you did that, or,
Hey,
whatever.
beauties, there's our girl.
There's our Susan.
Hi. I love how generous. What?
It's over here.
I love how generous.
I am compassionate and truly magical. I am pure wonderment.
Yes.
I am a safe place. Love you too, hotties.
Yes.
Love it.
Thanks, Susan.
And Crystal, she has all kinds of fun things here. She's a star. She's magical or mystical. There's the rainbow. She's giving because that looks like hands. Not sure what that one is, but
I love what you were talking about. I love what you were talking about is what we're doing right here and what we're creating. And this is the joy and the fun of abundance. And this is the joy and the fun of prosperity consciousness. Look at how we're sharing with each other the love, the joy, how infectious it is. And look at how we're feeling. So this is perfect this weekend. I mean, it's amazing. We have a new moon coming up on Monday. And so right now is the perfect time to choose the prosperity, to choose the abundance, to choose your new role in the paradigm, and really ground that intention in, ground that energy in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm,
And this is the part right now that we really want to focus on in this new moon, starting on Monday.
Yeah. The 4th, is that Monday?
Yeah,
is that really Monday?
Yeah, it's coming up. So it's a powerful time. This is the reset. Press the reset button, release everything that's no longer serving your path of light. Let go of all that old humanity that has served you for the time and that it's no longer necessary, and press the reset button and choose your new life now. Make that choice. I've been dealing with a lot of clients this week that were questioning if they wanted to even be here on this planet anymore. And so it was like, make the choice. I'm all in, and make that commitment and 100% be here and choose how you want to live it. Do you want to live it in financial freedom? Do you want to be financially free? Do you want to experience amazing, abundant relationships? It all begins with you.
It truly does. I was just thinking, I'm singing a song in my head, and I wish we could play a song without worrying about copyrights and stuff like that. But
You can go ahead. Oh no, but go ahead and sing it.
I'm not singing. I'm sorry. There is no way I'm singing, but it is the song that Michael Jackson did.
Man in the Mirror?
Man in the Mirror.
Man in the Mirror.
And I was just singing it in my head. I'm starting with the woman in the mirror, and I'm asking her or him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer.
I mean, if
you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change.
Change.
We will not win at any Grammy Awards. I guarantee that. But I wasn't going for the Grammy. I was going for the sentiment of it takes you to change you. There isn't anything outside of you that's going to magically come along and make your life better.
Actually,
or anything. It's coming from within.
Yeah. And it's really, again, if you're looking for somebody to come in and save you, if you're looking for somebody to come in and save you, nobody's going to come in and save you, because the Savior is already here. The Christ is within you. You are your own Savior. The Savior paradigm is part of the old earth. There's nobody coming in to save you. You're the one.
Yes.
Look at the Christ within, the Christ consciousness within. There was another person that had sent in a message earlier about the church. I would like to see if we can address that.
Let's do, because we have just about 5 minutes left.
Okay. So what was that?
It was.
So what was it? Read that out loud.
I'm going to read this.
Loud.
The main thing that I've been dealing with is the transition I'm making from the Christian life. I still believe in God, and I think that I believe in Jesus as well. I do not like the organized religions that go with it all. I hate all the hypocrisy that is there. I don't want to ever set another foot in a church to be preached at again. I feel so comfortable where I am headed, and it is lining up with everything I've always believed.
It's wonderful that you are feeling so comfortable of where you're headed, and you're really looking at what your belief system is around your own inner church. I believe that we're all becoming, and that we all are our own inner church, because we're all Christ's, we're all God's, we're all here raising the consciousness and, inhabiting our earth. So, the church has done the best job that they could during the time, just like our parents had done. So it's like they have a ceiling in the church that they never went above. And that ceiling of hypocrisy, I can so relate, because I wanted to commit suicide back in the day when I was looking for God in the churches and couldn't find God. So not until I started looking within and started asking God to have a relationship with me, and that I wanted to get intimate with God, with my higher power, with my source light, with my Christ within, then everything started changing for me. And so, wonderful.
Awesome. I just wanted to share Crystal Maria, Venus in Pisces, Jupiter in Capricorn. So she's funny and diligent. Sun and Moon in Aquarius. She's a giver, honest, and super smart.
Oh,
she's super smart.
Awesome. You are absolutely super smart.
And she has the most handsome huskies ever in the world.
Oh,
They're
my
just
gosh.
adorable.
I love huskies.
I
love dogs.
We don't have one running around, but we did before. Both of us have lost our faithful pets.
Yeah.
So I want to say a quick word about astrology very quickly. We only have a couple minutes left, and I really do have to get out of here on time. But today is the day that Saturn and Neptune are coming together in a way that we talked about in the astrology for 2019. Here was a very great example of our having to take responsibility. Saturn rules responsibility, right? Who's responsible for making the changes in you, right? It's not me making changes for you. It's your responsibility. And then we have the planet Neptune, which is all about spirituality. So 3 different times this year, and never are they very far from one another in this aspect of coming together in a way to build the practical and responsible steps that each one of us has to take to claim our spiritual birthright. And so our talking about ascension and astrology is so important, because it's written in the stars right now that that is what we're doing. And as above, so below, right? So we are taking back the responsibility. We are looking to ourselves. The problem with religion, or most religions, was that they were having us look outside of ourselves for that kind of wisdom. And it doesn't reside in any outer world, it resides here. And there is no better aspect, Saturn sextiling Neptune, to bring that into being.
Yeah. And it's like now, Saturn again is asking us to be disciplined with our spirituality. And Saturn is be responsible with your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your deeds, and really ground in your spirituality, because that's the foundation that it's being built on. Because really, it's God said He wants His planet back, or God said she wants her planet back, and the planet is being taken back by all these billions of offspring of God taking the planet back. And
Yes.
so it is.
And it is. I wanted to share, Susan said, what the world needs now is love, sweet love.
It's the only thing.
And Tom, I'm not sure what Huya Shamani, I think he's like singing. And, he's a musician.
Oh, good.
Right? So he probably could have come on and sang the song for us. And
I want to tell everybody to come to my show tomorrow, The Millionaire Imprint for Women. Go to my Facebook page at KorneliaStephanie.com and check out The Millionaire Imprint for Women. I have Marty Rogers tomorrow with me, and she is,
what
Marty.
Time? What time?
At 1:00, 1 to 2 o'clock.
Pacific time.
Yeah. And you can also download your favorite podcast and just type in the word Kornelia Stephanie, and you'll see The Millionaire Imprint for Women there. And also Living Heaven on Earth is another podcast of mine, where I bring, amazing conversations with game changers on the planet that are doing good things.
Including us?
Yes.
Yay, including you?
Yes.
All right. So thank you all for joining us today. I hope you were able to get something of real usefulness to you. Remember to go to KorneliaStephanie.com to get your emotional processing technique. You scroll to the bottom of the page. Email her at radio. It's showing right here on the screen, radio@KorneliaStephanie.com, to get your free ebook on money and abundance.
And everybody, if you're watching this on YouTube, keep putting in what it is that you love about yourself, what it is that you love about yourself, what's lovable about you, and how do you want to be loved? That was actually a question that I asked at one of my retreats. I think that's the retreat that you were there to, teaching astrology, is how do you want to be loved? And the way that you want to be loved is the way you want to love yourself. That's really where it begins. It begins there. Thank you for being so open and vulnerable and sharing all your beautiful juju with us today. And we'll see you again next time.
Next week,
Yay.
Thursday afternoon, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. East Coast time. Thank you so much. Take care and good night.
Bye-bye.